Hey, so here's 3 reasons why you have not lost weight yet. And the first reason is something medical going on. So this one has two different aspects to it. So the first aspect is that you may have an underlying medical condition that causes either weight gain or prevents you from losing weight. Some of the very typical ones are PCOS, especially in women. PCOS can make losing weight very, very difficult, or it can cause like unwanted weight gain, even if you're, quote, doing all the right things. And there's also ones such as Hashimoto's disease that can cause unwanted weight gain as well. It kind of depends on your situation and where you're at. There's also conditions like thyroid problems and stuff like that. I've even encountered somebody who I went to college with whose thyroid was completely non-functional. She ate completely healthy, but was 100 pounds overweight. So it just really depends on what your situation is. The second aspect of this reason why you have not lost weight yet is you're taking a medication that causes weight gain. Now, if you have a very common medical problem, there's very common ones such as allergies and migraines, and you could even be on something like birth control. There's a wide range of medications that you could potentially take to alleviate the symptoms or do what you need the medication to do. And this is a conversation you can have with your doctor. Typically, if you are seeing unwanted side effects, they can and will switch you to another med to solve the problem you need it for. However, if you have a very rare condition, there's probably not much else out there on the market, but it's still worthwhile to bring up the conversation with your doctor and just see what other options you have, because chances are you're not the first one who's experienced that side effect. And medications affect people differently. It depends on your genetics. It depends on your metabolism, which also heavily depends on your genes. But it can also just depend on your everyday life, what's going on, stuff like that. Not everyone biochemically reacts to the same medication the same way. So it's definitely worthwhile to check with your doctor. Now, if you're very sure you don't have an underlying condition, then there's a couple other reasons why you may not be losing weight. Another reason is that you're following diet plans and strategies and things that were never meant to work in the first place. All the very mainstream consumer fitness diet plans, they're meant to keep you stuck. They're meant to be clickbait, essentially, and to tell you what you want to hear in order for you to buy. And they know that, and there's very smart people who fall for stuff like diets and crash diets and detoxes and stuff like that. Detox is a very broad term, so you'll hear it even in like industries where they say do a technology detox or something like that, or take a break or something like that. It's become very interchangeable. But when I'm saying detox in the manner for fitness is typically where somebody goes on a 2 to 3, even 5-day time frame where they're essentially not taking any nutrients in their body except for whatever the juice is or whatever the liquid is. And especially if you're on your feet all day, if you work in medicine, if you're an attorney, if you're a business owner who's brick and mortar, maybe you're an online business owner who does a ton of in-person events. And even if you don't do that, your body and your brain still needs viable fuel to function. So the detoxes and stuff like that are not going to get you to where you want to go. Those crash diets and detoxes and things of that sort, they're meant to deprive you, so that way when you're done with it, you go right back to the binge eating or eating unhealthy food, and then you have the same problem again, and then you go purchase it again, or you purchase something else that's in the same category. Also, when it comes to stuff like the 21-day fits, they don't teach you how to maintain that weight loss, right? They show you these teeny itsy bitsy containers that honestly you cannot plug and chug that everywhere you go. Same thing goes for Weight Watchers. They have a point system essentially, but you still have to check that before you can even sit down and eat. and my clients are very busy, they don't want to be chained to that, right? They just want to have it happen automatically and have a system where they don't have to be chained to something. Myself, I grew up with a diabetic mom. She still has diabetes, and every time she sat down before she had to eat, she still has to do that. She's got to see if she needs to take insulin or not. So it was just a type of way of life that I knew a program like Weight Watchers or 21 Day Fits would have been absolutely freaking hell for me. I did not want to be chained to anything like that. So that's why, like, I never, ever, ever recommend programs like that. I'm not saying there's not people who have lost weight with it, but always proceed with caution and see how realistic their results really are, because a lot of it is clickbait. And honestly, when you're working with celebrities, they hire experts like myself to live with them and to train them, and they hire private chefs to cook their food. They're not just doing something like Weight Watchers. They get paid big butts by Weight Watchers and programs like that to promote them. And that's essentially more pocket in their pocket and more money in a program like Weight Watchers pocket, essentially. So just always proceed with caution when it's a very heavily celebrity endorsed program. Always, 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 that's like a huge red flag, because people like Kim Kardashian and Khloe Kardashian, they actually went on Instagram and found people like myself who were not necessarily the most, like, the largest account like Jillian Michaels, but we work with clients one-on-one. So they actually went on Instagram and they found a trainer. That is what they did. And people like Sierra, I believe she was an endorsement for Weight Watchers. The Kardashians, very obviously not. But just always proceed with caution when it's a lot of celebrities endorsing a program, or they're promising like this insane result in a very short amount of time. It's not healthy or sustainable. It's clickbait worthy, and it's preying upon the fact that you want that result very, very quickly. So that's another reason. That's actually the second biggest reason why I see people are not losing weight, or they're not keeping it off and they're continually having the same problem over and over again. The third reason is that they don't have a strategy, right? This I see a lot of the time. People are just simply Googling and Pinteresting their plan. They're going on Pinterest, they're going on YouTube, and they're trying to piece it together themselves. Meanwhile, they have a business or they have a career, and they are completely just overwhelmed with everything. And it's taking so long for them to see a result, because by the time they figure out, like, oh my God, I have to have this recipe ready or that ready, by the time they're hungry or they need to cook the food, they're like, holy crap, it's already like 8 o'clock, I haven't started, and this and that. Then what ends up happening, they end up getting like junky takeout or something like that, and they're not able to stick with it. And then it gets to be this like back and forth, push and pull. And if you are not having an actual strategy in your hands, that you know what you need to do when you need to do it, it's like taking spaghetti and slapping it against a wall. So it's not really going to be viable. And I've even seen social media managers do this with their own personal lives. I've seen business owners who are successful do this in their personal life with their health and fitness. And sometimes it's so easy to be able to tell somebody, like for business or social media, hey, you need a strategy, you need this and that. But sometimes it's so much harder to see that for ourselves, right? Even if we are telling other people they need to have it, sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day that you forget, oh my God, I gotta have this for myself, right? So those are the top 3 reasons that I see. There's other reasons as well, but this is what I see most commonly, especially with people who are successful in business. They have a very high level of success professionally. And that doesn't mean that they can sniff out every single like dieting product scam or something like that. That's why there's experts like myself to be able to give you that knowledge and to give you that help and to be able to put you on the right track. So another side note, if you do believe or you're concerned with a medical condition or something like that, I'm not a board certified medical doctor. I have a lot of years in veterinary medicine, but always go see your doctor, talk to them. And I also cannot stress enough, get a second opinion if you feel like they're ignoring your symptoms or something like that. a quick story on that to make sure to really bring that point home and the importance of it, even for introverts, because it's really important. My dad was in his mid-30s. He was in incredible shape. He had been an athlete for his whole life, ice hockey and football, and then got into bodybuilding. And I was a baby, I was a newborn, and he was just exhausted. He had taken on a couple new promotions at his job in engineering. He was still working out every day, doing the insane like lifting workouts and stuff like that. And he was just very fatigued and very tired, not really seeing like his energy improve anymore, and it was really, really like concerning. And he went to like 5 doctors before he got the correct diagnosis, and it turned out they were just, the first 4 were just kind of blowing it off like, oh, you have just work stress, and you have a new baby, of course you're tired, right? No, he actually has hemochromatosis, which is too much iron in your blood. So it turned out it wasn't just work stress and home stress going on. It actually was a genetic condition. It turned out my grandparents were both carriers, and that's how he got it. One of his younger brothers also has it as well. And my sister has it too. So that is just a little blurb to make sure that you're not afraid to go talk to a doctor about something, and to also not be afraid to go see other doctors if you really feel in your gut something's really wrong. And my dad knew something was really, really wrong, so he was just very persistent about getting that diagnosis done correctly. And like I said, it took 5 doctors before he actually had one go do blood work, which is crazy. But you are always your best advocate, so always keep that in mind, and always make sure that you're looking out for yourself, because if you don't look out for yourself, then it's very, very, very hard for everything else in your life to fall into place. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you think which one you are or anything like that. Of course, you can always like shoot me a direct message or something like that, and we can chat about it. So I hope this video was helpful. I will catch you in the next one. Talk to you later.